Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builders Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the Sargent Co 68-1155 latch retraction lever, and this is used in we're going to go over the parts drawing as well, but you're going to see this used in a component in a bottom latch of an exit device. We'll take a look at that. First, before we switch to the parts manual, let's take a look at the dimensional properties of the item. It's overall, looks like it's about 3 3/8. And I guess the width of the body, just to put a dimension on something, about 7/16, quarter inch or so material thickness. I'm going to say that it's a zinc plating over steel, 0.081 thick. Oh, it's not. I wonder if this is... It is thoroughly... It appears to exhibit zero magnetism. I'm tempted to say that it's not stainless. I don't know the base material of this. I don't think that it's zinc. I don't know that you would make lock parts out of zinc, because this has to be a stamping. Interesting. I'm going to ask the factory what the base material is. And I will update the extended description down below at some point, probably by the time you're seeing this video. Okay, so we'll leave that as a mystery. Now, let's switch to the screen view where we can take a look at how to find out some concrete additional information on this item. Okay, so this is the item that we are looking at here. Not much to see, but let's copy that part number, and let's go to the manufacturer's page as seen here. And then we're going to find the 80 series parts manual. I happen to know where it is on this page. I refer to it somewhat often. You know, before we do that, let me point out to you these archival catalogs over here. If you want to see what Sargent was doing at the turn of the 20th century, there's a 1901 catalog. That's going to be a pretty epic document. Okay, so we're going to let that load while we go on about our business. So the 80 series parts manual is here, 168 pages, and if you do a find function on your keyboard for 68-1155, you're going to find the instances where it occurs. And here indeed it is. Here's the top latch. It may be only top latches that it works in. We'll take a look. Latch Retracting Lever, part number 5. Right there. There's your part number 5. What's obviously very handy about this document is that it will show you all of the other instances of where it occurs. So it looks like it's top latch application only for either the Pullman style latch or that square bolt here. Okay. And over here it's going to be apparently part 10. Yeah, 68-1155. So this document is handy because you can cycle through all of the instances where it occurs. It's handy because it will take you to the greater assembly from where you can then pull up the rest of the part numbers needed to potentially continue working on the item that you are trying to resurrect. Why you would need a latch retraction lever? Usage. It's just pure and simple. You know, you go through an exit device hundreds of thousands of times, millions of times, parts are going to wear out. They're just like a car. Parts are going to wear out. And it's incredibly helpful that Sargent, a company that has been in business since the mid-19th century. I don't recall the exact year. Actually, they may predate that. They may predate that. Andrew Jackson could have still been alive when they were. I'm sure that he was. When Sargent, there may have been two of them. I forget the history of this. It was something other than exit devices. Obviously, exit devices didn't exist in the mid-19th century, but locks did, and that's what they were getting into at some point. So the point of the matter is, here's the greater assembly where you can pull up different material. On that link to the manufacturer's page is you can search all of the Sargent products that we sell, a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the full product catalog, those archival documents that we have here, other encyclopedic documents that we have here, templates, wiring instructions, basic technical fundamentals of builder's hardware. I don't recall that document. What is that? Okay, yeah, sure. So this is a document that's not very old. Well, it's from 2009, revised. I would absolutely encourage every person, every first-year door hardware industry person to read this document, and there are others. Maybe someday I'll put together an assembly of those documents that have helped me at least define many instances of different applications that would not be otherwise obvious. You know, what is a mortise? What does mortise mean? You know, and they show you what it looks like. If you ever heard the term 86, you know, it's an 86 edge. That's what it looks like. Typical 86 cutout. Different parts of mortise locks. So very handy. Let's see if our big document opened. It did. 1,543 pages. Wow. So what was Sargent doing in 1901? I don't know, but let's take a look. Let's take a look at that. Absolutely. It's such an unwieldy document that scrolling through. Boy, this is when a catalog was a catalog. I bet books like this got a lot of use on the sales counter. Okay, trims, lock trims, discussions. I mean, just right here, this. You know what's really amazing about looking in these catalogs that are so outrageously old? You are going to find modern designs that are not new inventions. They are not, you know, something that the company who's making it in the year 2020 came up with. They are definitely looking at these books for inspiration, in my opinion, to see what was, what is, what shall be sort of scenario. So just quite inspirational in terms of the options. This was non-pin tumbler. This would be a bit key. Not a pin tumbler at that point. So, from what I can see here, since we're talking about locks, 787 8VF. It's quite very likely that you had the option of doing these as either lever tumbler locks in 1901 or pin tumbler locks. Okay, the lock case would have been different, most certainly. You had the ability to operate the latch and the bolt by separate keys, is what was happening here. Sorry for being sidetracked, but just, you know, it's there's no words for how gorgeous this material was. And what's really great is, you know, in the world we live in today, there's a bit of certainly a renaissance that's happening with trim designs, finished designs available, where 25 years ago you didn't have a lot of lever designs, not a lot of choices. And that's changed. There's a lot more choice today than there was in 1995 across the board, but nothing matches, this bygone era post-industrial revolution where you didn't have one choice of escutcheons, you didn't have 10, you had dozens. Just beautiful. You can see why some of it's probably not going to come back ever, but some of it's inspirational. Okay, let's finish up this video. Back to speaking about just exit devices, I'm partial to Sargent, even though I don't do a ton of business with their product line, and for a number of reasons. But I'm partial to them because of how well developed their entire line is. Sargent, and while to people who don't work with Sargent all the time, their part numbers, me included, the way they structure part numbers with their prefix system is intimidating. But, all manufacturers' part numbers are intimidating until you start to work with it, start to find the connections, contact the factory and ask for support, and that's where I'm going with this. They're exceptional. Whether I live chat them or I call them, they are absolutely participatory. They behave as if they're partners in the process, and, work. They know that your success, that they can only be successful when you're successful is what I'm driving at. These are priced and sold as each. This client purchased 6 of them. If you have any questions on the Sargent 68-1155 latch retraction lever or any other Sargent product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you.